This is going to be African Americans in the cities, and we've got the first 6 minutes of background, that kind of information, and you know, just the same kind of information you've been getting.
Dr. Sanford.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I'm going to try to keep my voice high.
I hear you.
Dr. Haynes, the TSU won their homecoming game?
Yeah.
They did?
Almost lost it.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
They did better than my MTSU.
Oh, they lost?
Oh.
It was a good game, though.
Yeah.
We played Vanderbilt this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I understand. We're at Vanderbilt Stadium.
Yeah, you play it there. It's their homecoming.
Okay, Doctor, you just about ready?
I'm ready when y'all.
Yeah, I like your sociological information, man. That's a lot of good information.
Oh, yeah.
People can just listen to one of these 30 minutes.
That's right. Yeah. You get that. That's right. Hopefully they'll do
That
it.
was the purpose of doing the
The
whole
whole thing, yeah. That's right, I bet.
Something to listen to,
Yeah.
a little bit of it, and write it down and go over it and see. If you go over and over and over this basic information, then you find out that a lot of other information start coming into it.
That's right.
You got to have something to start with. And so that's what I had some struggles dealing with this. You remember Dr. Bankier?
Yes. Oh. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
He didn't want you to do it. Isn't that something? Didn't want to see it as academic.
That's right.
That's crazy. That's the same thing.
Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is African Americans in the cities, and we're fortunate to have with us to talk about the economic, political, and social situations of African Americans in the various cities throughout the United States, Dr. EKSanford. And of course, Dr. Sanford, you've been with us on many occasions, and as a matter of fact, that's why we keep inviting you back, because you've got a lot of good sociological, sound kind of sociological information that you're able to somehow bring it out of the classroom and put it into a practical kind of setting.
Yes.
In terms of how we might be able to deal with it. And it's very informative and instructive, you see. And so before we get into African Americans in the cities, let's have you to give us some information in reference to your background, education, experience. You know what we do in reference to that. Do that.
Okay. Well, again, I'm Dr. EKSanford, and I really thank you again for being here today. I'm always enjoy it when I come. It's an excellent forum. I did my postdoc degree at State College, Pennsylvania, at Penn State, my doctorate degree at Howard University in Washington, D.C., which on today's topic, I would like to say that one of my specializations there was demography, which is looking at the demographic transition of how people may move from one location to another location. So I think it's very pertinent, as well as looking at issues related to crime and deviance within the larger urban areas of the United States, and how that manifested itself from an earlier period to the present. Prior to that, I worked with the national headquarters of the American Red Cross, where I was the evaluation specialist and doing HIV/AIDS education. We did the rollout of many programs that are still in existence here in America as well as abroad. I did my undergraduate and master's degree at North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, and other places such as the University of Michigan at the Institute for Social Research, and as well as at UNC in Chapel Hill. And another person that was going to be very much related to today's topic, Dr. Gerard Linsky, on the development of human societies, as we move from an agrarian to an urban area.
Very good. And Dr. Sanford, this information has to do with some of the things that we're faced with today. While we might talk about an earlier period in American history, you have already indicated that it starts back here,
yes,
with all of these groups coming together and how they lived and how they worked in the cities and et cetera. So before the end of this first segment, give us some statements in reference to the African American in the cities itself.
Okay. I would like to really be able to contextualize it in thinking in terms of migration. And let's first define it as forced migration from the 1500s to 1860. When you think in terms of people who were forced out of Africa into different places that we might use the term diaspora. And that would mean throughout the Caribbean and South America, and of course here in North America. People were forced there. Other immigrants came, of course, to this United States, but not forced. They were willing to come to the United States of America. And so we can look at that as far as various waves as the first one, the forced migration, where you had about 360 years of African enslavement throughout the Caribbean and here in America before the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, with Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. And so that was one of the type of backdrops, if you will, and looking at how a group of people ended up in such large numbers of millions, say here in the United States. But forced migration was indeed the first type of demographic transition that took place for people of African descent to be here in such large numbers in America. Primarily, as you may very well know, we always talk about where people came. The first place was in the ports in South Carolina, where millions were brought in at that earlier time of this first wave of the migration.
And so this is the beginning of the African and the New World in a real sense. And I think you call it forced migration.